This morning, it comes as Pastor Creflo Dollar asks his followers to buy him a $65 million private jet. Mark Strassman is outside the World Changers Church International in College Park, Georgia. Mark, good morning.
Good morning. This church behind me is like any house of worship. It is nonprofit and tax exempt, but it is also highly controversial, most recently when the pastor asked the faithful to help him travel the world in style.
Dream for the best house. Dream for the best car.
He's a pastor named Dollar who preaches the prosperity gospel. The more you give, the more you shall receive.
Just because the world don't have it, don't mean you can't have it.
Creflo Dollar's sermons pack his 8,500-seat megachurch. His ministry has prospered with satellite churches in at least a dozen states and hundreds of thousands of online followers.
I am the resurrection.
Dollar owns this multi-million-dollar mansion and condo. In March, his website asked the faithful to help him buy something else.
To give contributions of $300 or more.
A $65 million Gulfstream G650 jet, the top of the line in luxury air travel. One church member, Mary Jones, plans on answering the pastor's call, even though she rides the bus 20 miles every Sunday to Dollar's church.
We support our pastor. That's what we're here for. The work that he do and where the Lord have him traveling, he doesn't need a cheap airplane. He need the best.
But Dollar later took down the video after the jet request was criticized. Former member Shamora Barnard was disgusted.
What's Pastor Dollar's prosperity gospel really all about?
What is it all about? It's about feeding him. It's about him eating. I'm going to tell you whatever I need to tell you to get you to put money in my pocket.
This isn't the first time Dollar's church has been under scrutiny. In 2007, the U.S. Senate Finance Committee investigated Dollar and 5 other televangelists for possible tax abuse. Investigators labeled Dollar as the least cooperative. But in 2011, the Senate abandoned its investigation, critics claimed, under pressure from church groups. We wanted to talk to Pastor Dollar. He declined our request for an interview. But a representative for the church sent us a statement which read in part, quote, all of the ministry's revenues go to charity and/or ministry, with the exception of the salaries and benefits for some 400 employees ministry-wide. Dollar also responded to his critics during a sermon.
If I want to believe God for a $65 million plane, you cannot stop me. You cannot stop me from dreaming.
In Creflo's church, there is no accountability to anyone. He runs it as a fiefdom.
Oli Anthony is president of the Trinity Foundation in Texas, a church fundraising watchdog group.
Chairman of the board of Texas Instruments or AT&T, they can have a fleet of jets, but they're not begging for money from people and get a tax write-off in order for them to establish such a lifestyle.
A church spokesman says the annual budget here is around $80 million. Despite lowering the online fundraising site, the pastor reportedly plans to keep trying to raise donations to buy a new plane. Gail?
All right, Mark, we got it.
You know, I'm not an expert in the Bible, but I've been to church enough to know that most of the Bible talks about giving to the poor.
Right.
I know a little bit about Jesus. I think he said the meek shall inherit the world.
Yes. It's just hard to see the woman taking the bus, thinking that she has to give money to.
Yeah, that's always the.
That was tough to see, I thought. Mark, we thank you. Could more